Welcome, and thank you for joining me as we start to explore the 7 cards of the tarot that outline the path of the seeker. The first card on our path is the Devil card. Ooh, scary. Don't worry, this card made me uncomfortable at first too, but I do hope that made you laugh. Now I will ask that if you have stumbled onto this video to please suspend any beliefs or preconceived notions of what the images on this card mean. There are a lot of people out there hoping to make money on your fear, and they will use this image. For the next few minutes, I want you to put aside their explanation of these images and listen to the reasons for the different symbols based on what the creator of this particular type of tarot card had to say. This is the card that represents the state of mind most of us spend our entire life experiencing. The only way to step out of this frame of mind is to take the sacred inward journey to know ourselves. This card could easily be named Bondage of Ignorance or Bound Consciousness. The number for this card is 15, which reduces to the number 6. That takes us to the Lover's card, and it is also numerically tied to the Hierophant card, 5. I will let you do your own research on how these cards relate to one another. Eventually, we will cover all 22. The name Devil has its root in the Latin word diablos, which means adversary. The black background represents ignorance and limitation. This is also the color assigned to Binah, which represents the mind on the Kabbalah tree of life. The goat horns and thick body are references to the Capricorn zodiac sign. People born in this zodiac sign are known for being stubborn and have a tendency towards materialism. The bat wings represent the power of darkness. Complete darkness, Jason Lauderhead notes, is symbolic. It doesn't really exist. The face of a goat and the donkey ears symbolize stubbornness. The upside-down pentagram represents a misunderstanding of man's place in the cosmos. On a side note, the Egyptians tended to refer to our material reality as the upside-down world. This also reminds me of the Feast of Fools Day celebrated in France, that Disney depicted in the movie Hunchback of Notre Dame, featuring the song Topsy-Turvy. The open right hand suggests that our physical reality is all that is, or that what the 5 senses of our bodies can experience is all there is to know. In other words, it symbolizes the idea that the physical world is all there is, and a non-material reality does not exist. The torch represents willpower, inefficiently used in the forms of terrorism and anarchy. Paul Foster Case explains that the symbol of Mercury below the navel, which is a planet exalted in the zodiac sign of Capricorn, indicates he is a product of faulty observation and superficial reasoning, or as Jason Lauderhood put it, an intellectual concept born of the mind. His feet are claws of the eagle, which symbolizes a misuse of reproductive power. He sits on a cube that is only half-formed, representing a half-baked way of seeing the world. The man and the woman chained to the cube represent the self-conscious and subconscious mind. Their horns, hoofs, and tails represent a shallow beast-like state of mind. These are the type of people that only live to gratify their 5 senses without the thought of what tomorrow may bring. These people are, for the most part, operating on a subconscious, instinctual level, which is on par with the beasts. The really sad thing is that the chains that bind them to the cube can be removed at any time because the loops around their necks are big enough that they can be slipped off. However, they prefer to stay in bondage with their current lifestyle of instant sense gratification. The woman's tale is rooted in the intoxication of wine, and the man's tale is rooted in the fires of physical passion. Now, you might have noticed that there was a symbol of Saturn on his palm. Saturn is also associated with key 21, which will be the final key that we explore on the spiritual map of the psyche. This suggests, according to Jason C. Lauderhead, the power that seems to limit us is the same power that will free us. Interestingly, the Hebrew letter associated with this card is Ayin, which translates as the eye or foundation. Mirth is the level of consciousness associated with Ayin. Laughter has a cleansing effect when we have decided to take the world too seriously. Everyone would do well to laugh at themselves from time to time. This is why our world is in sore need of more Robin Williams and George Carlins. Taking this world too seriously leads to a lot of pain and suffering. Paul Foster Case sums up this card well by saying, when we find a fact that does not fit with our belief, we are obliged to revise our theories, and thus we are a set of green apples who prefer a comfortable lie to an uncomfortable truth. Jason C. Lauderhead summed it up this way: beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and so is hell. When vision is used negatively, it is a delusion. When used creatively, the eye is the very means of producing the splendor that is rooted in the vision of beauty. I don't know about you, but when I read that statement by Jason Lauderhead, it made me think of the classic tale of the Emperor's New Clothes. Now, for me, having read all the meanings of the symbolism of this card, I see it as representing an out-of-control ego and a consciousness controlled by groupthink. This is a person who's walking through life like a zombie, being directed by mass marketing schemes. And this is the mindset that a certain possession provides the meaning in their life, and that they must attain these status items at whatever cost. This card also strongly reminds me of the scene from Disney's Pinocchio, where he goes to the carnival along with other kids on his quest to be like a real boy. There he is given enough food to make him sick and other indulgent items. He and his friends are then transformed into donkeys that are locked into cages. There you have two symbols in common with this card, the donkey and bondage. Further, it makes me think of the stories of Beauty and the Beast. The Beast, pictured in this card in his devilish form, was very materialistic and selfish. Remember that both the color red and the rose represent desire? Beauty, of course, shows Beast how to see the world from a renewed perspective, freeing him from his curse. All of us start off as the Beast before we step onto the path of the Seeker, and we hope to become Beauty. If you're uncomfortable with these children's stories being linked to these archetypical symbols because someone out there is trying to influence the young minds of children, here's a quote from Jason C. Lauderhead for you. These things are universal, so there's nothing to get excited about. Now is the time to get out your journal. I will be posting a sound meditation for the tone A in the description box below. As you listen to the sound meditation, focus on the tarot key card. When you're finished, write down in your journal any thoughts or impressions that you had. Well, thank you if you have made it this far into the video for being so open-minded. I hope you enjoyed this video and it opened your mind to a new perspective of an image that usually terrifies people. Thank you for joining me on this fascinating avenue of the Seeker, and I'll see you next week.